Hey everybody, Chris Bond21 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Episode 5. On the last episode, Sora finally encountered Donald and Goofy, and they've joined forces to find their missing friends. So they're off looking for Riku, Kairi, and King Mickey, who are somewhere out here in the array of Disney worlds that scatter the cosmos. So we've come to our first world here, and we're going to disembark, and I'm going to just wait a second, because if I hit disembark, we're going to get right into the first cutscene. I'm going to try to explain a little bit about each Disney world when we get in there based on how I relate back to the movie it's based on. So we're going to disembark right now, and this first world is, wait for it, Wonderland. So Wonderland is based on Alice in Wonderland, which is like one of the earliest Disney movies that was ever made. It's a really old movie that I think I saw once when I was a kid, and honestly, I don't remember much about it. I was really young, so kind of just, I don't know, it's in pieces in my memory. So a little bit of a cutscene here that I'm talking over, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, so Alice in Wonderland, not a big fan. I know there's a live action movie that came out like I think it was 10 years ago or something, but I actually never saw that. I know there was a sequel to that movie, but I never saw that one either. Not really a huge fan of this, so it's kind of a bummer that our first world has to be something I'm not really too excited about, but we all have to start somewhere, I guess. Gonna follow Rabbit, and he's gone into the little keyhole. So Wonderland is kind of how do I explain this? Tricky. There's a lot of puzzles and weird, bizarre stuff. So in some ways, it's exactly like the movie it's based on, confusing and crazy as all hell. Because trust me, Alice in Wonderland is it's a bizarre ride. Trust me, it's not very sane. So the first thing we're gonna do before we do anything, so we're supposed to go over and talk to the doorknob and trigger a cutscene, but we're actually gonna go over here to the bed and activate this icon for push, because if we continue without doing this, we're kind of going to get stuck. So we're going to head over here to the door.
How did he get so small?
No, you're simply too big.
That cocks!
Must you be so loud? You woke me up.
Good morning.
Good night. I need a bit more sleep.
Wait, what do we have to do to grow small?
Why don't you try the bottle? Over there.
Okay, before I do this, I just want to bring up two contradictions in that scene we just saw. One, the talking duck was afraid that the doorknob was talking, and Sora said grow small, which I don't think is the right way of saying that. I'm pretty sure it's, how do we get small? How do we get shrunk? I don't know, it's weird. But we're going to drink this, so if we hadn't pushed the bed in, this would have been a little awkward, because if you notice, there's a doorway over there. I'm going to swing the camera around. So there's a doorway that we can go through over there. So if we hadn't pushed the bed in, we wouldn't have been able to do that, so we would have drank the potion for nothing and would have had to just get back out. So when we land, we've got some Heartless that we got to take care of. Again, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of grinding the Heartless, because, again, I'm already level 19, and fighting these guys does nothing. I think it's one point of experience. I'll be here for hours if I do that. So we're gonna immediately head here into the Queen's Castle and trigger a cutscene.
Court is now in session.
I'm on trial. But why?
Her Majesty, the Queen of Hearts, presiding.
This girl is the culprit. There's no doubt about it. And the reason is because I say so, that's why.
That is so unfair.
Well, have you anything to say in your defense?
Of course. I've done absolutely nothing wrong. You may be queen, but I'm afraid that doesn't give you the right to be so mean.
Silence! You dare defy me?
Hey guys, we should help her out.
Blah, blah, blah.
We're outsiders, so wouldn't that be muddling?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah. And that's against the rules.
The court finds the defendant guilty as charged for the crimes of assault and attempted theft of my heart. Off with her head!
No, no! Oh, please!
Hold it right there!
Who are you? How dare you interfere with my court?
Excuse me, but we know who the real culprit is.
Uh-huh. It's the Heartland.
Anyway, she's not the one you're looking for.
That's nonsense. Have you any proof?
Bring me evidence of Alice's innocence. Fail, and it's off with all of your heads. Gather as much or as little evidence as you please. Report back here once you're ready. So, Donald and Goofy actually brought up a pretty interesting point there. I'm just going to move back here to see if there's a chest. I think it's up top and I can't reach it just yet. There's a mini save point here. These are one of the save points that you can't get to the gummy ship. Actually, now you can. I thought these were the gummy oh, no. These are the save points that might not always be there. That might disappear. The ones that are glued to the floor, those are permanent. And the ones you can, I think, jump into when you get to the world map. But Donald and Goofy brought up a good point, because there actually are rules in the Kingdom Hearts universe. So they mentioned how we can't really interfere with what's going on in this world, because that would be meddling. And that's because in Kingdom Hearts there's sort of an unspoken rule between these people that jump around to different worlds, which is that you can't let on that you're from other worlds, because that basically breaks the cohesion of world order. So it's kind of like if you were walking down the street and another group of people came at you and told you that they were from an alternate version of Earth. It would be very confusing if it was real, and it would probably make your head spin. So the way that this works is the Disney characters that we encounter in each world, so all of these characters here that exist in Alice in Wonderland, we can't take them to, say, another Disney world that we'll come to later. It's all very separate and divided, and that's sort of a cool thing, because it could be kind of bizarre to have everything interact with each other, even though technically the Disney worlds do exist. Anyone ever watch House of Mouse? I'm pretty sure all the Disney characters existed in the same continuity there. But they brought up a good point that we can't interfere, but yet that's constantly what we do. So Sora, Donald, and Goofy are a lot like Doctor Who, where they just sort of jump into their gummy ship, land in a world, and slowly get involved in its shenanigans, despite the fact that that might not be what they were attempting to do to begin with. So yeah, we're just looking for our friends, and yet here we are helping out Alice. So definitely like an episode of Doctor Who when you get right down to it. So we're going to head into the Lotus Forest, and we're going to get a cutscene here, but I know it's text-based. There's no voice acting on this part. So we've got a fancy bouncing head of a cat here. That's not scary. Decapitated head off the cat. Just a little freaky. Like I said, Alice in Wonderland's weird. Who are you? Who indeed? Poor Alice, soon to lose her head, and she's not guilty of a thing. Hey, if you know who the culprit is, tell us. The Cheshire Cat has all the answers, but doesn't always tell. He's kind of an ass like that. The answer, the culprit, the cat, all lie in darkness. Wait. They've already left the forest. I won't tell which exit. There are 4 pieces of evidence in all. 3 are cinched to find. 4th is tricky. Big reward if you find them all. Should we trust him? To trust or not to trust, I trust you'll decide. Yeah, so the Cheshire Cat basically just told us there are 4 pieces of evidence that we can find to claim Alice's innocence, and there's sort of a probability ratio to that I'll explain in a bit. So we have to explore this area here, and it's just this one area, and one room that goes back into the bazaar room that we started in, which is where the doorknob was. So I'm going to head off a little bit here, because the first piece of evidence is easy enough, like you just said, right here. So we're going to... Oh, wait, I can't do it. See, this is something I also haven't brought up yet. In Kingdom Hearts 1, a very annoying thing is you can't interact with chests or objects in the environment until all the enemies are dead and the command gauge goes back to blue. So now we can open this. And inside are footprints. That's a good piece of evidence. We're going to climb up on these mushrooms, head up here. So, ooh, I hate when we get stuck like that. So there's a doorway over here that we can take, but we're not going to, because that doesn't actually lead anywhere that we need to go. So I'm going to try to jump up here. Figured that wasn't going to work, but right around the side. Just fighting off some Heartless as we go. Again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time fighting the Heartless, because, again, it's chump experience points right now to my amount that I need to level up. Oh, you know what? I'm going to shut up, because I just leveled up, and I said it was pointless. That is funny. So I'm going to head over here, and this is the second piece of evidence. I forget which one it is, but... antenna. So we're basically collecting pieces of the Heartless. So we found footprints, the antenna of a Heartless, and as we go we'll find other pieces. So I'm going to jump over here. I think I can just make that. There's a fancy chest over here. Open this up. What do we got? Okay, so this is one of the Dalmatian chests. So don't worry if I come across these during regular gameplay. I'm going to re-edit them all back in at the end. So I'm going to keep all my footage and just do a sort of a montage of every Dalmatian I find. So we're going to jump over here and head here. So that was 2, 3. So there's one more thing. So I actually will go here right now because I think this will land me in a good spot. Yes, it will. I forgot there is one more piece here. So this is the third piece of evidence, the last one that's easy to find. The fourth one, like he said, is a little bit of a trick. So this is the stench. I don't know how you box stench, but there we be. I'm going to head over. Also, I didn't show this off in the last video, but this is dodge roll. I totally forgot to show it off before we ended. I love dodge roll. It's a nice way of getting around nice and fast. And like idiots, they took it out of Kingdom Hearts 2, which pissed off a lot of people. That was really one of the dumbest decisions they made, taking out dodge roll. They reincorporated it into Final Mix, but the original Kingdom Hearts 2 didn't have it. So the fourth one, he said, was tricky. So to do this fourth one, we actually have to go over to this flower and examine. Give me a potion and I'll make you bigger. Now, as suggestive as that sounded, we're actually going to do it. So if you go here, you'll now have flower in the inventory slot to give it to, and you'll give it to the flower, and Sora will now grow to, I guess, normal height, because technically we were shrunk. And over here, you'll notice there was the apple up here, and this tree that we can now examine. So we're going to hit, it's ripe enough to be picked and eaten. So we're going to take the apple, but before I eat it, I'm going to hit the tree. And now, as you saw, the tree just moved, right? So the tree is now in a different spot. This doesn't lead to the piece of evidence, but this is something you can do. However, we need it to be big in order to do this particular thing. Over here, there is a tree stump that the cat was on, so you can examine it. It says, why don't you get on? So do that. And if you noticed real quick there, a platform exploded up, so we're done. I'm going to eat the apple. Now, you didn't have to hit the tree. I'm just hitting the tree to show you that there is a way to maneuver the path around. So, for example, if we go up here now, back to where we were. Actually, before I do this, I want to hit the Trinity mark. In regards to Trinity marks, you don't have to hit them all for 100% completion. There is a trophy for that, though. So while it doesn't affect anything in the game, trophy. So if you're going for all 100% trophies, you're going to need to get all the Trinities. I don't know if I'm going to show that on video because there's a lot of them, but I'll make note of where the most important ones are. So now we can't go through this door anymore, and we can't get onto that platform. But I think if I suck at the jumping. Trust me, later it gets a lot easier. So if we go over here now, I think a platform will be in the right area for us to jump on. Nope, it's the other way. Always forget which way to go. And yet this room isn't even that big, and yet somehow I always get lost here in the back. So you jump up here, head over here, and now there's a platform here next to the apple. And we jump up here and head up here. There's a section up here that we can go to, and this leads back to the bazaar room. And I don't think this leads anywhere particularly interesting. So it leads here, and actually, it's pretty good that I did this because we'll be able to see it. So if you look far over there on the other side of the room above where the dishes are, see that little pink box? That's the fourth piece of evidence. So now you're probably wondering, how in the heck do we get over there? Well, by moving that platform down, we actually created a new path in the corner. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump down, and I'm going to head over to the side here and use these mushrooms to get up on these platforms. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3... up here, and I think I should be able to do this. Yep, so you'll head over here, and so now this platform that I'm about to jump on, right there, that was not there a second ago. We just put it, and we're going to use this to get into the bazaar room. And now we're on, look at that, the faucet that was in the corner, and there is the evidence. Now this is a little tricky, and this is not exactly the best angle, and if we fall, we have to go all the way back, so I'm kind of hoping I don't fall. And because we don't have exactly a great jump move right now, this can be very nerve-wracking, so I'm going to try to do it in one go. Hopefully I get it. Oh, thank God. And we're going to open up this fourth box. Claw marks, and the cat will come back now. Well, look what you found. Nice going. Now can we save Alice? Don't be so sure. She may be innocent, but what about you? What do you mean? I won't tell, but I'll give you something. Obtain the power of ice. We learned Blizzard. So, I'll spoil it for you. When you beat the boss of this world, you'll get Blizzard from the cat. If you collect all the evidence pieces, you'll get it right then and there. Blizzard kind of helps in that fight. Sort of. Not really. Again, like I said, Magic in Kingdom Hearts 1, not exactly a very sound thing to use or fall back on. So, not exactly something we needed, but kind of cool that they give you a spell a little bit earlier if you go out of your way to find all the evidence. So now, basically what's going to happen here is you're going to go to this card and say, are you ready to present evidence? Yes. Very well, Council. Step up to the podium. So, even though we found all 4 pieces of evidence, watch what this crazy lady does. Now show me what you found. So there's our 4 pieces of evidence. Well, that's certainly a lot of evidence, but I'm still not impressed. Cards bring forth my evidence. So she brought 1 piece there. So if you only found 1, she fills in the rest of the spots with her own evidence. And then she tells you to do this. Checking all 5 would be a waste of time. Alright, then choose the one you wish to present. I'll decide who's guilty based on that evidence. What? After all the trouble of collecting it? You dare object? Then you will lose your head. Now choose one box. So you have to choose one box. Now what's supposed to happen, although I've seen different things happen each time I've played this game, where basically there's one box that has a Heartless in it, there's another box that has Goofy, another box that has Donald, and one that has both of them. Now that's only 4 options, so there's a 5th box that could contain something else. So I'm thinking that how this works is probability states. The more boxes of evidence you got, the higher the rate is going to be that you'll get the Heartless, not Donald and Goofy. But sometimes you can still get Donald and Goofy, because that happened to me on a previous playthrough I did. So I'm going to just pick this one and hope to God that probability, or that the odds are ever in my favor. I doubt it. And now we will see who the real culprit is, and let's see what happens here. Hopefully it's the Heartless. Okay, it's the Heartless, thank God. But sometimes I've done it, and I swear to God, Donald and Goofy showed up. What in the world was that? There's your evidence. Alice is innocent. Silence! I am the law here. Oh, I am totally going to dub that in with Stallone from Judge Dredd. That is a prime spot. I have to do it. I have to do it. Just gonna be silent for a second and put that in there.
I am the law!
Article 29. Anyone who defies the Queen is guilty. That's crazy. Seize them at once. And so she's going to get a little angry. We're going to move all of the furnishing pieces out here. Also, I don't know where we are. We're in like a box. It's really weird. And he's going to move Alice up. And we're going to play the most epic game of 52 pickup. Here we go. So yeah, you got to fight the cards. And if Donald and Goofy were chosen, they'll be put in like little cages on the side. But you can free them if you hit it. So the goal here is just to beat the crap out of the tower. If you fight the cards, I don't know if you get experience, but they just regenerate after a while. I'm going to kill this one card, see if I get any experience, but I don't think you do. No, you don't. So fighting them doesn't help, because otherwise I'd say this is a broken section where you can just keep killing the cards and gain experience. So yeah, the cards are annoying because they have these like harpoon lances things, and it's painful. They can hit you from like behind. But all you got to do is wail on the tower on all 3 sides with the wheels, and then just go to town on the tower base itself, and you'll see it's starting to crack, and it's going to start falling into pieces, and that's it. You get 100 points of experience just for breaking the tower. Pretty easy. She must have gotten kidnapped while we were fighting. You fools! Find the one who's behind this. I don't care how. So yeah, they're all running off to go figure out who did this. So before we continue our adventures in Wonderland, we're going to end it here because we're about 15 plus minutes in. So then next time we'll try to find out where Alice went, try to figure out what the Cheshire Cat was talking about with what he meant that we're not innocent, and see if we're going to find Riku and Kairi in this world. But I seriously doubt that, because it doesn't look like they're here, nor is King Mickey. So come back next time when we continue our adventures in Wonderland. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope again to see you on the next part.